Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here for another one of our countdown to Christmas. We are up to day 15, and day 15 offering is a couple of sort of large junk journal kits. So I'm going to kind of do them one at a time now. Again, these are going to be for sale on a potluck basis, so you will get, you know, one kit or the other kit. So yeah, just kind of know that, you know, I can't guarantee which kit you're going to get. So this one here, again, it's in a sort of envelope pouch, and the envelope's all been obviously decorated up. You've got ribbon and lace and, you know, various different things on there that, of course, you know, you could deconstruct this, you could pull the flower off, you could pull the lace off, the bling and everything else, and use it in your journals. Or of course, you know, you could, you know, cut it down, for example, and, you know, fold this round. This would be like maybe a cover on this side and, you know, something else, you know, from this side. But yeah, that's just kind of obviously the outer details. So what do you get? You get a little flower here. This is attached with a bulb pin, and it's just backed onto a little felt round, and, you know, you could obviously glue that onto your covers or, you know, wherever you like in a journal. And then on the other side, you've got a little you know, handmade organza bow, and then you've got one of those jabbos, which I know we've obviously done a tutorial on these, but that's there also hanging from a bulb pin, so they're all just hanging on there. Now inside the kit you've got two big pockets, so both are kind of stuffed with different pieces. So I'm just going to move the pouch to one side and we'll just look through and see what you get. So you get this little item here, which is a gorgeous tassel, and then a bunch of clustered up items. Now some of these are vintage things and some are not, and it's just been stapled in the corner, and then you've got obviously the tassel and the wax seal. So that's the first item. This one obviously is a blue themed kit. You've got this one, which is a little pocket. It's done on a masterboard, and then you've got a little wax seal there, some lace, some bling, little butterfly and things. So this could be used as a pocket on a page, you know, if you just glued it on three sides, and you'd have a sort of side loading pocket. Then you've got this one, which is a I would describe this as a floating pocket, so I would paper clip this in. Of course you could glue this on. I don't know why I describe them as a floating pocket. I think just that's how I kind of always view these little laminated pieces. But what you've got is a little kind of laminated folder around this book page, and then you've got just a little piece which has been laminated in there, and you've got some glue across the top and some bling on there. You've also got some stamp detail going on here, and then obviously that's stitched around the book page, so your actual pocket is kind of book page in there. Then here you've got a vellum pocket, so you've got some vellum on here, which again, this is a vellum laminated piece, so you've got the pieces laminated inside the vellum, and this is a cloudy vellum, you know, vellum effect laminated pouch, whereas this is obviously a clear one. I love this laminate that's this cloudy kind of effect. Weirdly, when I first came across this, I thought, oh, I'm not sure, but actually I really love it. So yeah, I just kind of, you know, laminated those pieces in there and stitched around, and then we've got a little paper ruffle there and a bit of lace and bling, and obviously that's your pocket in there. So again, just to kind of say, you know, the back is kind of, you know, scrap paper, it's not plain, but again, I would glue that on maybe three sides and have that just, you know, popped on a page as, you know, top loading pocket here, and then a pocket obviously on there. Then you've got one of those little book page envelopes. We made these together, I think, in a little video, or yeah, I think we did make them in a video. And this one's got obviously that lovely bird. Now this bird is stamped on fabric, I think. It might be fabric, it might be paper. It feels like fabric, but actually I think it is paper. And then you've got some lace and a little bow, so that's your little envelope there. And again, been stitched on the sewing machine. Then we've got here this gorgeous coin envelope. So in the top, you've obviously got, you know, a big sort of pocket in there, and this is just some vintage book page, and you've got various different bits layered up there, some lace and some bling. Then this one here, this is just an opening little, you know, pocket booklet. So you've got a pocket here in the back, and then you've got various different pretty papers. You've got some journaling space here, and then obviously these coffee dyed papers, and it's all just been stitched on the sewing machine, oops, with your papers in there, so you've got sort of plenty of journaling space. So a little booklet, again, I would tuck that maybe into a pocket, and you've also got a pocket on the front, so very, very, very pretty, and it's got lots of vintage book page as well. Then you've got one of those Patricia Varimontes pockets. Again, this is obviously a book page pocket, and then you've got various different pretty items there and some stamping and things going on there. Then here you've got one of those sheet music pockets, and this is just literally sheet music that's been doubled over, you know, to give it some thickness. And then you've got a stamped image here, and then you've got one of my little circles, if you can see there, on vellum, and then it's layered up with another one of my circle printables that's smaller, kind of overlapped on there, so I hope that's kind of showing. And then you've got a vintage postage stamp and some label from some sheet music there as well, and some lace down the side. So again, you could kind of glue that on 3 sides and have a, you know, pocket from that. Then this one is a little kind of folded what do you call it, like a flip kind of thing. So you could put obviously some coffee dyed paper on here, or you could paint over this or gesso over this for journaling on. And then you would just glue this down on this folded flap here. So that would be glued onto a page. If I just bring in some paper to kind of demonstrate, you would glue that on down there, and that would be on the page like that. Okay, and you've got a pretty piece of ribbon down there, kind of done in a bow with a little bit of bling on there. Then you've got a little pocket here with, again, you've got a pocket here, and then a pocket here. So again, I'm just going to keep this piece of paper handy to sort of demonstrate things. So again, I would glue this on sort of 3 sides, and then that would be a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. Then you've got one of these gorgeous collage pieces with the faux envelope flap. Absolutely love this piece, I have to say. And I think this has got some of that vintage famous paintings snippet roll on there as well. So love that one. This one here, this is a pocket from my Perfect Pockets. It might be set 2, I think. Just so pretty, and obviously it's been decorated up with the elements from the kit, and then some lace there and some bling. So again, you'd obviously glue the, you know, the 3 flaps down, and that would be on a page there as a top loading pocket. Whoops. Then you've got a little envelope piece. Now this was those pieces that we made with the altered playing cards. So you've got the queen from the playing card there, and that just tucks in like that behind the butterfly flap. You've got here a large book page pocket. So you've got obviously the 2 pockets there, and again, I've just glued that on 3 sides, and then you'd have, you know, side loading pockets and your 2 pockets there. Then here you've got a collage masterboard piece, and again you've got, I think this was a snippet roll piece going across there, and some of that gorgeous ruffled paper. So again, I would glue it on 3 sides, and you'd have, you know, side loading pocket. Here you've got one of those little foldy pockets. So you've got obviously your 1, 2, 3 pockets there, and then again glue it on the side, and you'd have another side loading pocket there. And again, isn't this gorgeous with that beautiful, you know, vintage image there? So lots of lace and bling on there. Again, this is another one using those famous painting images. So the famous painting, it's been put down on the entirety of kind of that, you know, envelope, not the flap, the, you know, the flat of the envelope. One of my little street names there. And then you've got the lace and the bow. Now I've left the back plain, so again, you know, up to you really. You could obviously have this paper clipped in, you could obviously, you know, glue it down however you like, but obviously, you know, the back, you could then do what you like with the back. Then here we've got a little pocket. Again, it's just got a pretty image on there and some lace and a little flower. Again, you could just glue that on 3 sides and have that as a little pocket. Or of course you could use this as a journal card, because this is quite neutral on the back, so you could just slip that into a pocket like that. Then we've got another one of those images with the altered playing cards. Absolutely love this. It's just so cool and funky. So if you didn't, you know, watch my video with the altered playing cards, they're, you know, in my video library. So yeah, do go across and check them out. So you've got one of my large images there. That's the large butterflies. And then some flowers there. I think they're from the Junk Journal Basics kit. And then some collage background there, and one of the labels there, I think, from the labels set 2. And it's just a massive, massive journal card there. So obviously it's backed onto this, which is some vintage fly sheet from a vintage book. So just love that. Then here we've got another large journal card, and again this is a large journal card which has been collaged up. I think we made this maybe in the mass making. And then we've got some lace down here and this gorgeous image and some lace up there and some bling. And then we've got one of those pretty envelopes here with a pocket here and a pocket here. So it's kind of like a double, you know, double pocket envelope. The flap comes down there and obviously very pretty on the front and absolutely gorgeous on the back. So again, you know, because this is decorated obviously front and back, I would just paper clip this in. It wouldn't be kind of glued down because of course then you'd lose the prettiness on the back. These are both pockets, if I recall. So you've got a pocket here and a pocket here. So I mean, just in this one piece contained there, you've got 4 pockets, which is, you know, pretty cool. That's that. And then you've got here another collage piece, so just some collage masterboard. Again, would glue it down on 3 sides and you'd have that as a side loading pocket. And again, it's got a pretty wax seal on there and a little cluster. So you've got a lot of pieces in there that you could obviously add to your journal. You know, I mean, I like to think that you could kind of make an entire journal with, you know, with what's contained in this kit. Obviously, you know, you could then add things like maybe some vintage postcards or some printables, you know, in some plain neutral colours as journal cards and things like that. But, you know, depending on obviously how big your journal is, I think you could pretty much get an entire journal made from the bits in this kit. So that's kit 1, and then kit 2. So it's exactly the same concept. You've got this altered great big paper envelope, which is now kind of formed a paper pouch. And again, you've got various different things, you know, sort of decorated up on here. So again, you could deconstruct it. You could kind of obviously cut it open, use this as a journal, you know, a little cover for a sort of booklet. Or, you know, you could tear things off. This is a cluster. You could tear that cluster off. Lace, you could tear that off. You've got a butterfly, you could tear that off. You could use it, you know, however you like. And then exactly the same here. You've got another clustered piece here. You've got some lace trim and another cluster here. So again, up to you how you use this. And then you've got lace trim across the top, which again, you could kind of obviously take off. You've then got, this is one of those sari silk bows. Now I can't remember. Yes, this has been stapled on, this bow. So you could very easily obviously take the staple out and then you've got that bow that you could use then in your projects. You've got one of those pretty, you know, fabric tassel pieces, which we did recently in a mass make. So that is attached with the bulb pin that I would use to attach that to a journal. So obviously you would take that bulb pin out of there and then you could obviously attach that to a journal. And then you've got this gorgeous lace flower, again in green. And this again has just been stapled on. So you just undo the staple and then you could take that flower off and then use that in your journals. So you've probably guessed the theme of what's inside the pouch is a green themed kit. Hence the kind of green, you know, hanging kind of bits on the pouch itself. So yeah, let's just get them all out. So again, a lot of different bits going on in here. Okay, so we've got large journal card there. I'm pretty sure that we did do this together in a video. So you've got that there. Now again, you could glue this down onto a page on 3 sides and use this as a large pocket. Or of course you could kind of paint over that or gesso over it and use this as a journal card. You know, the choice is yours. And then you've got some ribbon ruffled across the top. You've then got this sort of double pocket here. So you've got actually treble pocket, I guess. You've got a little pocket in here and then you've got a pocket here. And then if you glued this onto the page, you would then have a pocket, you know, for instance, that side, or you could glue it top and bottom and have it, you know, as a belly band. Completely up to you. This is some vintage book page and these are just some pretty papers there and some vintage book page there. Then you've got this gorgeous wraparound, I mean, it's not really a journal, but wraparound booklets, which again, I have got a video coming of these. So the twine just wraps around there. And then you've got a wax seal close, you know, holding the twine down. And then when you open this up, you've got lace here. You've got one of those vintage tickets, which I think we did that on a video. And then you've got a couple of butterflies and then this beautiful paper. And then you open this out and you've got a whole bunch of you know, pages and papers that you can obviously then journal on. So it's quite a sort of good, you know, comprehensive kind of piece. And that's been, all the pages have just been stitched on the sewing machine into there. So again, that just wraps around on itself and then just, you know, tucks in a couple of times there to kind of hold that closed. Okay. Then you've got, again, a large journal card. Now, I have to say, was tempted to hoard this. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me, but a bit like there was one of these in the folio, the paper bag folio. And again, I wanted to hoard that one as well because I just love how they look with this beautiful colour. I can't remember whether this colour with the, you know, the stenciling, whether that was the patina or whether it was paints, but I just love this bright sort of green on here. So you've got a little bit of collage papers. That's just from my Victorian album pages. And then you've got this gorgeous hot air balloon, a vintage postage stamp, a label from my labels set 2, and various different bits layered up. And then it's obviously on the Tim Holtz packaging. So again, if you were to use this as a journal card, you've got some silk at the top. If you were to use this as a journal card, you'd want to obviously gesso over here so that you could obviously journal on this. But alternatively, you could obviously glue this on 3 sides and have this as a large pocket, you know, on a page. So it would look kind of like that, which I think, you know, would be an awesome pocket anyway. You've then got a little foldy booklet piece. So again, you've got some snippet roll here, and then you've got a couple of pockets. So a pocket here and a pocket here. And then obviously, you know, decorative detail on the front. Then here you've got a collaged up piece, which again, you know, you could use this either as a journal card if you just gessoed over the back, or obviously as a pocket on a page, just, you know, gluing it down on kind of 3 sides. Then here you've got, this is one of those envelope pockets which we made in the mass making session recently. So this is just my English Country Garden papers, and then you've got a little bit of my Maribel paper showing there, a label from the Junk Journal Basics kit, and then some lace here, and then some pretty ribbon and wax seal, and then some lace across here. I love that pocket so much, it's so pretty. So again, I would glue it on maybe like 3 sides, and then what you'd have is obviously your top loading pocket from the envelope pocket itself, and then you'd have a side loading pocket as well. So that's, you know, that's kind of a suggestion of how maybe I would use that. Right, then you've got this gorgeous piece, which again, I have got a video coming up on making these, and it's just made with some genuine vintage, you know, pieces. So this is some vintage, I think it's some sheet music covers on here. And we've just made this lovely wraparound, like a faux envelope, I guess. So you've got some sari silk on here, some flowers and a vintage postage stamp. Love how this looks so much. And obviously I haven't decorated the back. So again, I would use this glued into a journal, probably sideways on like this. And I would probably then glue it down here. And then I would just obviously wrap this round like that. Oops. So before I had glued it down, I would wrap this round, glue it down, and then you'd have this piece, which then, you know, you'd wrap around the closure like that. Failing that, if you wanted to obviously have it tucked into a journal rather than, you know, glued down, obviously you could just have it kind of, you know, with the string loose. It's not string, but, you know, embroidery thread loose. And then inside there you've got a bunch of different papers there. You've got some fly sheet and some internal envelope and things like that. And then some vintage brick page and some coffee dyed doily, and again they've just been stapled in like that. So I love that piece so much. It's just, oh, my type of colours is just so pretty. I mean, actually I love this whole kit. They're just scrumptious colours. Then you've got this collage masterboard piece, which again, I would glue on 3 sides and have maybe as a top loading pocket. Here we've got some more genuine vintage ephemera, which again, I do have a video coming up for this piece, and we just made a little booklet piece, which again, you've got the wraparound closure and then some pages inside for journaling. They've just been stapled in, and then, you know, of course you could kind of gesso over here or glue some coffee dyed paper on there and that side, and, you know, journal on there as well. But how gorgeous is this? So it's from some genuine vintage ephemera, and then you've got some genuine vintage ephemera here and some stamped pieces there. the ruffled up sari silk, which I've ruffled up a lot for the size of this piece. There's a lot on here, so it's really, really scrumptious and kind of rich looking. And then here you've just got one of those charms that we made a couple of years ago, probably now, where we just kind of, took those charms and vintaged them up. So it's probably not showing on the camera, but this is actually a green gemstone on there. But yeah, I don't think the camera's really picking it up. And it's just hung with a bulb pin. So that just, wraps around 3 times, I think. Yep, and then just tucks in on itself. So although you've got quite a bit of journaling space in there, it's a very flat piece. So it would tuck very neatly into, you know, a pocket. Then you've got another collage masterboard piece, which again, I'd glue on 3 sides and, you know, have it as a side loading pocket. Then you've got a CD envelope here, which has been lined with some vintage documents. And then you've just got a bit of, you know, detailing on the outside and some stamping and, you know, some little flowers. Collage masterboard piece here with, again, a gorgeous cluster piece and then some flowers. Again, some sari ruffle at the top. Again, I'd glue that on 3 sides and have it as a side loading pocket. Here you've got one of those gorgeous little pockets. So you've got, these are papers from, I think the, oh, I can't remember. It might be the Cambridge Garden kit, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's just such a striking kind of paper, isn't it? And then obviously you've got one of my coloured umbrellas and things, one of my butterfly film strips. This is all a sort of snippet piece, which I've obviously torn down. So you've then got one of my green labels and a flower and some, you know, some lace. And then you've got a pocket here. And then you've also got a pocket here on the side. And then again, you've got a pocket at the top, because these are those, I think they're Joey DeFee pockets. So you've got a pocket at the top, a pocket here, a pocket at the side. And then when you glue it down, if you glue it on 3 sides, you know, or, you know, whichever side you'd like, you'd then have a massive, you know, side pocket as well. So it's a really clever pocket. You've got kind of potential for 4, you know, 4 tuck pockets there. One of my altered playing cards there. Again, if you saw my little play around with the altered playing cards, that should be, you know, on my videos somewhere. And it's been inked around with the, or not inked, but, you know, patinaed around with some green patina. So again, it's got that lovely green kind of running through. You could gesso on the back and journal on it, or of course you could just kind of glue it onto a page. Then here, this is from my vintage Victorian album digital, and we made these beautiful pockets. So, oops, this might be a side loading one. Yep. So what we did, we just popped in the vintage document in there, and then a little bird on there and a bow and some sari silk ruffled down the side. Love that piece so much. And again, this has been stitched on the sewing machine. You could use this for journaling if you were to paper clip it in, or of course, you know, you could glue this onto a page and have it as a, you know, fixed pocket. Then you've got this, which is again some collage masterboard. You've got lots of stitching and things, and then some lace trim, and then some green details on there. And then here you've got another one of those beautiful little clustery pieces here with the, you know, vintage kind of piece and some vellum, some vintage document here, and then a tassel and a wax seal. I love this. It's just my type of colour green. It's just yummy, yummy. I love green. So yeah, really, really like that. This one again is another one of those Victorian album pieces, and this time it's a top loading pocket. So you've got the top loading pocket here like that. And this is the Lewis Carroll book images that's in that one, and then some lace trim and some flowers there. Another collage masterboard piece, and this one has got a little pocket on the front, so a little kind of tuck piece in there as well. And again, I've just glued that on 3 sides and have that as a top loading pocket. And then I included one of those little book page envelopes, which we made recently in the, you know, in the video as well. Lace trim and a flower. I just love that so much. It's so pretty. Honestly, this kit's really up my street. I just love green so much. And then we've got this pocket here, which again, this is a few different bits layered up or collaged up onto some coffee dyed paper. So this one is obviously plain on the back, and you could use this as a journal card very easily because you wouldn't have to gesso or anything. You've got some lace trim and some bling and, you know, a few little images there. So you could just tuck that straight into a pocket. So again, just, you know, as with the other kit, you've got a lot of pieces here, and, you know, I mean, obviously it does depend on the journal size that you're making. But, you know, I think pretty easily you could fill up an entire journal using all these bits. And then, oops, I have just noticed that I've now torn this envelope. So yeah, I do apologise. I think what I will do is try and stitch this on the sewing machine to hold that closed. But yeah, I do want to point that out. I've obviously torn that in this video when I was trying to get everything out. So yes, I do apologise for that. I will just run a little stitch down the side. Yeah, depending on obviously the size journal, you know, I think this would pretty much fill up an entire journal, and then all you would literally have to add is, you know, a few bits of coffee dyed paper or some, you know, some postcard printables or originals or whatever, and then you'd be able to fill an entire journal. I think, like I say, it does depend obviously on the size journal that you're making. But yeah, I really hope that you like everything here. So obviously there's the 2 kits. And they will be available at 2 p.m. GMT today. So yeah, do go over and check them out if you like the look of them. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks then. Bye.